Hi guys. In this video tutorial, we will see how to create Studio Ghibli-inspired rocks. This workflow is the best quality time compromise that I was able to find based on my technical skills. The software used are Unreal Engine 5, Blender, and Substance Painter. In the description, you will find the download link of the project files. Please enjoy and remember to subscribe to the channel for more tutorials. First, we choose a stone suitable for our needs in the Quixel Megascan library. This is right for us, mossy forest boulder. We wait for the mesh to download in nanite version. We need to export the most high-quality asset. To do so, we must remember to deactivate nanite from the mesh, otherwise it will export a low-poly version. In Blender, we import the model just exported from UE, and we slightly smooth the stone to make it less realistic. If the mesh is not smooth, as in this case, do a shade smooth in object mode. Now we will start creating the texture shader. For convenience, we divide the screen in half and set the lower part in Shader Editor. We'll create this, a modified version of a shader created by Christophe Dedeen. I tried to simplify it, making it more suitable for implementation in Unreal. The explanation of the shader in this video will be a little approximate due to lack of time and technical skills. To understand fully, I recommend seeing the original video described above. So, let's start by creating some nodes. Color ramp, mix, Voronoi texture, mapping, texture coordinates, noise texture, object info, and Musgrave texture. And start the connections. We attach the color ramp to the base color of the BSF. The mix to the color ramp. We set soft light. We copy and paste the Voronoi texture, and we attach them to the mix in soft light. Now we can see a first pattern on the mesh. For auto generation based on positioning, we attach the mapping node to the vector of the Voronoi texture. And the coordinated textures to the vector of the mapping node. Let's not forget the location of object info to the mapping location. And here is the auto generation. Now, let's go back to the first node, the color ramp, and create a color in the center of a very bright color. With this noise texture and the mix node, we are going to plug into the scale of the mapping node for creating this larger spots. Copy and paste the noise texture, the mix, and the first color ramp to perfect the smoothness of the texture generated by the Voronoi textures. Select the F1 Smooth mode. Now we can attach the mix to the Voronoi texture. In addition, we create some nodes that we will need for additional color shades with the help of the Musgrave textures. Copy and paste the mapping node. We plug in the object info to the newly added mapping. Let's add a color ramp node and a mix. Let's attach the new nodes. We attach the mapping to the Musgrave texture. To make the change effective, we connect everything to the main node and set a color similar to blue. The color ramp will be used to determine the contours of the spot. As you can see, I had previously set the scale of the Musgrave texture to -0.4. We do the same process for another color, yellow. Let's slightly changing the scale of the texture, otherwise the colors overlap. This is the standard setting of the shader, which can be modified in colors and shape to achieve the desired results. Now I will enter the data necessary to create the shader as similar as possible to the reference image. Import the reference. I will speed up the video to not make this step too slow. Sorry for the sudden cut, this is still the color ramp of the purple color variation. Now we are on the node of the yellow spot, which is barely visible. That's it. At this point, we can take advantage of the UVs already present on the stone, to generate a PNG image of the shader. For this, we set some data to proceed on baking the image. Create a texture node and set a 4096 resolution. It is important to set this data, otherwise the process will be very long. Everything is ready. We can proceed with baking the texture. Here we save the PNG image to be able to modify it soon in Substance Painter. We also export the previously smoothed model. Now let's open Substance Painter. This is a paid program, and once the trial version is over, we will be forced to pay a not exactly cheap monthly price. I preferred to buy the program from Steam, which allowed me to pay everything at once. I don't know if anything has currently changed in Adobe's pricing plans. First, we import the smooth model and set the Unreal preset. Set the high-definition mesh needed to apply effects and generators in loading the same model. Import the texture and apply to the model. Select UV projection. Let's start with the application of two effects that will increase the watercolor effect. But first, create a layer that will remove the roughness from the model. Since the background is very dark, let's put a background image to brighten the stone a little and lighten everything. Okay, let's add a watercolor effect under filters. Let's quickly change some settings to improve the quality. The second is the comic book effect, always under filters, which does 90% of the work, but you need to pay particular attention to some settings. Color intensity, border opacity, and paint intensity. The rest, try moving the various parameters until you have a good result. Throughout this part, I went a bit with trial and error. It's difficult to find unique values for each model, so let's have fun trying until we find the desired effect. Now let's add a fill color of white color and apply the metal edge generator. It will make the edges of the stone. In practically all the levels that we are going to create, we will use a black mask. Let's change some settings to make the effect apply well to the edges. And finally, choose the suitable color. I recommend something that mixes well with the other colors without standing out too much, dark in color. Let's create a new level. This time we use the brush to delimit a specific area. With the edge generator that we also used previously, we set the parameters by trying various combinations to be homogeneous with the rest. We close with a layer similar to the previous one with a dark color to create other details. With the brush and the eraser, we're going to improve the new stains. Perfect. We can proceed with exporting the textures. Open UE5. In Unreal, we import the stone and the textures. Sorry for the resolution of this last window. Let's change the textures to general textures. Let's create a new material where we will insert the color and the normal texture. By pressing the left mouse button and the number 1 on your keyboard, we can create a numerical parameter of 1 for the roughness, in order to remove the shiny effect. At this point, we can apply the texture to the stone, and here is our rock in Ghibli style. I hope this tutorial was useful. Don't forget to follow the channel for more tutorials. For the next video tutorial, I thought I would explain how to make grass. What do you think? Until next time.